Hello, welcome in, welcome in.
Hello,
I have
welcome
zero
in,
plan
welcome in.
here. Just kind of hanging out. Decided to
I
go
have
get
zero
myself some
plan here.
food.
Just kind of hanging out.
Might
Decided to go get myself some food.
put on some
Just kinda
Project
hanging
Zomboid
out.
in a sec. We'll see.
Go get myself some.
Let's see. Oh, wait. Second light. There we go. There we go. Curious if I can get the chat to work this time. God, that would be nice. But I'm usually not that lucky. Yo, welcome in, welcome in. Hey, poor dead man, I just saw your comments too. Thank you. I am yeah, I have zero plan here. I was playing some Project Zomboid earlier, but got super frustrated. I've been having a lot of so much trouble with not Zomboid, with OBS. Trying to get shit set up. It's just a pain. Massive, massive pain. You know, half the time, yep, it's still not working. Twitch chat still doesn't want to show up in OBS. I have no idea why. Ugh, that's always fun. That's always fun. I can get the YouTube chat. Those are showing up. Let me actually check that. Yeah, YouTube chat's showing up in OBS, but the Twitch isn't. Ugh. Oh, thanks. That's a dangerous thing to offer because I will probably take you up on it at some point. Absolutely. I need all the help I can get trying to get this stupid thing off the ground. Not because the frustration is I love live streaming. I love hanging with the community. I love connecting with other streamers. Love doing it all. What I fucking despise is the technical side, which is an absolute fucking pain. Absolute pain. And I always love when suddenly stuff that was working just decides not to. Like the multi-chat was working just last night. And normally as soon as Saul shows up, it just suddenly starts working again. Because it will never not show me Saul's messages for some reason. I don't know why. His are like the one. Can I get a separate box for the Twitch chat? No, that's too much. Oh, some fried pork and vegetables. I'm trying to eat a little bit healthier, though starting it off with fried is probably not a great start for that. Tastes good. Lateral move as far as losing weight, but tastes good. Probably not even a lateral move. Once you add that big dab of Crisco in there, I'm pretty sure it's not. It's a negative. Congrats on the 24-hour stream, by the way. I'm sorry I didn't pop in, but I was leaving it open in the background, hoping it would help out with your numbers. Yeah, dude, no problem. Oh, I have no doubt it was exhausting. Dude, I'm doing a 48-hour stream here soon. I'm very much looking forward to that. That's going to be... I may actually die. That's part of why I'm like... I really don't want to... I'm really hoping to get the stupid Twitch thing set up. If I have to deal with that for 48 straight hours, I'm going to be fucking... go crazy. I'm going to go absolutely insane. Ugh. But... OBS is always a pain. That is... Boy, Speed Biker, that is some advice. That is some advice. Now YouTube isn't showing up on screen. What in the world? What? OBS is so interesting. So now the YouTube chat is showing up in OBS, but not on screen. But the Twitch chat is showing up on screen, but not in OBS, where I can actually see it. So that's great. That's just phenomenal. What else is new? It just wouldn't be a new Memphis stream if something didn't go technically wrong. Horrible. Ah, well. On the red poster? Oh, a spider? Well, there is an arachnid, technically. He was caught once riding on the back of a frog. You see, now you're just when you mention Uncle Shio, you're just making me depressed because I don't have enough money to get the Oblivion remake. Now I'm just sad. I've heard it's so good. It is what it is, but like, man, I've heard it's so good. I gotta watch it I gotta play it at some point. Maybe, I don't know. I don't want to watch a playthrough. I am curious though how it's gonna change the gameplay because Oblivion was the first game I ever loved. First RPG I ever loved, the first game in general I ever truly fell in love with. And the funny thing is, I am really excited to play a version of it where archery is actually useful. Where archery is actually worth investing in, where all the bows are not slingshots. God, it sounds so fun. It sounds so interesting. I'm wondering how it's going to change the game's dynamics when Stealth Archer is actually viable. Unlike Skyrim, where Stealth Archer is like your default. Oblivion with Shio. Oh, Saul's stuck in a 4-minute ad. Oh, yeah. Big announcement. Congratulate me, guys. I am now officially a Twitch affiliate. As of today, I'm officially a Twitch affiliate. Literally got it set up maybe 3 hours ago. But everything is set now. I'm now officially making a little bit of money off Twitch. Probably not much. But, hey, probably 7 cents for every time you watch one of those ads, which is... Man, Adley got stuck in like a 4-minute one earlier. That is such trash. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Yeah. No, like, the support has been amazing. Like, I think we jumped like 4 or 5 extra followers, which, I mean, at this level, that's a lot. You know, that's still, I mean, for only being at like 53 and gaining 5 followers, that's like a 10% jump. That's huge. I mean, that's good. Oh, the Sheogorath album. I think that got posted in my Discord once, but I never actually bothered to listen to the whole thing. It looks funny. And God knows I love Uncle Shio. I never played... I have to admit, though, part of my private shame about Oblivion, I never played much of Shivering Isles. I thought it looked cool. I played some of it, but I never finished it. I never actually finished it. I think I finished it once, like, years later. But I originally played it with none of the DLC, not even the horse armor. If I play it now, am I going to get copyright struck? Probably. Haven't watched Star Wars? How dare you? Okay, whether or not Star Wars is good is a very loaded question. Because you first have to ask, what Star Wars? Which movies? Which versions? Which years they came out? My God, George Lucas just could not stop screwing with the stupid franchise. Just couldn't stop. I love Star Wars. I love it. Unfortunately, I would say if you were, whenever I go back and watch it, I watch the fan cut, the despecialized editions. Whenever I do, I have a copy of them. Maybe I'll put a link to that in the Discord or something like that, because I have them uploaded to my personal Google Drive. Maybe I'll just put them there and people can grab them. But yeah, it's hard. The original Star Wars, like the original 77, I think was when the first one came out, version, phenomenal. Yeah, it's difficult because I wouldn't recommend the versions on Disney Plus, even though they're the most available, because they're not very good. They have a lot of changes that got made like years and years later, and some that got made as recently as like 2 or 3 years ago. You know, for a movie that's like 30-something years, 50-something years old, 77 to now. Oh my God. Yeah, wow. That's like 77 to 2027 would be 50 years. And we're not far off. So 48-year-old movie. Rogue One, okay, Andor, the show, is amazing. Rogue One, I always thought was overrated. You know, Rogue One kind of got a pass for the fact that so much of the fan base was like so excited and so like Rogue One looked really good in comparison to how terrible the prequels were. Not the prequels, the Disney sequels were. The Disney sequels were all terrible. All of them. They were all absolutely terrible. Even The Force Awakens. I remember distinctly being the one guy who hated The Force Awakens when it first came out. I hated it at the time. And the funny thing is, also, I'm going to move the chat box real fast in the vertical output because it's like right over my face. I'm gonna move that just a bit. I don't know where to actually put it though, where it's like gonna work. But I want the Twitch chat to be visible. Yeah, Rogue One is okay. Yeah, that'll do for right now. Rogue One is just okay. I thought it was overrated, but it looked really good at the time in comparison to how terrible the Disney sequels were, generally. You know, and man, you and Uncle Shio, you have quite the relationship. You guys have quite the relationship. Anyway, yeah, Rogue One looked really good in comparison to The Force Awakens, and it looked especially good after The Last Jedi came out and basically split the fan base in half. And would only continue to divide it from there. Last Star Wars trilogy was too woke, Disney blew it. It had a lot of issues. It was, I mean, that was what, 2014 as far as Hollywood? It was like early stages woke. So I wouldn't say that. I mean, yeah, it was the beginning of the girl boss era, fresh out of the Hunger Games. The Hunger Games actually, I think, was probably I don't think Hunger Games was woke. I think the Hunger Games was actually just good. It just happened to have a female protect. If there was ever something that came out of, well, it was before the woke era really swept in. If there was ever a girl boss movie that actually was just objectively good, it would be the Hunger Games. I love the Hunger Games. But I would say that it like The Force Awakens was like pre-woke. It was like in the girl boss era, in that vein. It was leading into the sweeping like gay culture really taking over the zeitgeist, which had a lot of positives and negatives, you know. Like, I mean, in my last video talking about the LGBT, about Queer Kiwi, who don't like using that word. Not that anyone else would probably care, but I mean, she's talking about her. I mean, like I specifically mentioned like the early seasons of Queer Eye. Yeah, whatever. Who cares? And the early seasons of the Netflix reboot. And again, you know, there was a time when the woke culture and gay culture and when the LGBT stuff was sweeping in, when it was still about like positivity and upliftment and personal development, you know, and growth, you know, self-care. You know, there was a time when it was good, and I think The Force Awakens came out around that time when it was like, it was still like, yeah, it's a girl, she's girl bossing, yeah, but there were still like threads of the movie that were good. There were hints of something that could work out. I think the thing that really defeated The Force Awakens was the J.J. Abrams-isms. You know, the mystery box, hollow storytelling, the fact that there were no tactics in any of the battles. They were really poorly laid out. I'm just going to turn off the chat box, actually, because it's really bothering me. On the just on the vertical. You know, it's... How can a slim, small girl defeat powerful enemies physically? I mean, yeah. I mean, it didn't make sense that John Boyega was able to defeat a trained Sith Lord either. Well, he's not a Sith, whatever. That was so stupid. They should have just called him a Sith. But, I mean, that didn't make sense either because he wasn't a trained swordsman. There were a lot of issues with that. Never watched either of them. I mean, it's... None of the... I don't think any of the Disney movies are worth watching. The last, 20 minutes of Rogue One is objectively verging on good. It's almost there. But it's just okay. The original, again, if you can ever get your hands on either the despecialized editions, I may end up linking those in the Discord, or on, the original cuts of the original trilogy. Phenomenal movies. Great. The prequels, not as good. Way too reliant on CGI. You can really tell that George Lucas was in a different stage of his life with all the, Chosen One stuff and the kind of some light Jesus imagery. But they had a lot of creative verve to them. You know, that was kind of the thing with the prequels, was the prequels were really, really, they were too reliant on CGI. They felt really bland for it. The backgrounds were terrible. You know, it felt like everyone was walking through these really sterile computer-generated environments that just destroyed any sense of realism to them. But, on the other hand, there were also moments of the prequels, all three prequels, including Episode 1 that everyone hates, where they did actually utilize the CGI in a way to, do new and interesting things, to make creative worlds, ship designs, droids, sci-fi elements in general that you could not have done with practical effects. And those moments were super cool. They really went balls to the wall. And I think that's part of why the prequels are still looked back on fondly, is the fact that so much of, the design work from that era was so iconic. You know? There's a reason why every kid from that era had remember those those binder clips that looked like the, I remember flying one of those around at my desk thinking it looked like the it was the AT gunships or whatever, the clone gunships. Oh my god, yeah. How am I doing today? I'm doing great, diggers. Welcome in. We're talking a little bit of Star Wars, but we're just kind of floating around here. Made myself some food. Got too pissed off and had to quit the stream earlier because OBS is being a bitch, but such is life. That's just what happens in streaming. Whilst watching The Force Awakens, it was the first time I watched a Star Wars movie in a theater waiting for it to end so I could go home. Oh, it was that way for a lot of people. You know, funny enough, I had some friends who almost... I had a friend specifically nearly end our friendship because I shat on that movie so relentlessly. I was like, no, it's bad. It's bad. Funny enough, they have since come around. Almost ended our friendship over it. Then comes back years later and says, oh yeah, oh my god, Force Awakens is so bad. I remember yelling at her for it. I was like, you yelled at me for this. Now you want to claim that you're on my side. Screw you. Go screw yourself. Fuck off. Fuck off. Something cool about the USA, guns. Lots of guns. Well, I mean, they have lots of guns in Brazil, too, I guess. I love the US. It's, I mean, it depends on the region. The US, one thing about the US is it's way more segmented by region and by geographic. There's a lot more that goes into the geography of the US than it's often given credit for. You know, that causes it to vary so wildly, but the U.S. varies more wildly from place to place to place to place to place to place where you are than it's often given credit for. I feel like Europeans especially have a nasty habit of not doing that because most of what they know about it comes from whatever's out of Washington, D.C. And that's the only culture of the U.S. they really seem to know. And I don't know. I love the U.S. I mean, it's oh, the police aren't that corrupt. That's nice. That's pretty great. I love that. The internet's terrible though. Internet infrastructure is awful. It would be nice to be in an Asian country. Would not be nice for the lack of freedom. Would be nice for the better internet. I don't know how the internet is in Brazil, but here it's pretty bad. The same three companies basically monopolize. I remember I saw an interview once with Miss Japan. You were in Japan? Holy shit. That's cool as hell. That's cool as hell. Anyway, yeah, there's guns and bourbon. I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Guns and bourbon is a big reason to. Oh, so the chat from the horizontal output is showing up on screen and in OBS, but the vertical isn't. Okay, I don't know. I don't know. I can't. This is the 48-hour stream we're doing starting tomorrow is going to be a real interesting time. A real interesting time when OBS can't seem to get its shit together. That's going to be fun. Anyway, what was I saying before? Oh yeah, it would be nice to be in like an Asian country where I could have better internet, but also I kind of like having the freedom here. Oh, but I saw an interview once with these giants in the world, like all the different heads of companies, like what are all the different companies that run the internet monopolies in the United States, like Comcast and what's the Spiral one? I forget. There's a couple of them. They basically carve up the whole country like the fucking mob. Carve up the country. One company will be in one city. One company will be in another city. They carve up into regions and just do mini monopolies all over the U.S. So our internet service is just awful everywhere. Because none of them compete. They don't compete within any of those zones. I mean, your English seems pretty good so far. Oh yeah, AT&T. There's another one. Yeah, it's just terrible. U.S. service and a lot of the what are they called? U.S. What are they called? God damn it, this is gonna bug me now. Like service providers for like internet, but also like electricity, water, they're all cartels. They're all fucking cartels. It's terrible. Absolutely awful. Absolutely terrible. But, you know, I don't know. It is what it is. It sucks. It is what it is. Gotta love the good old US of A. So enslaved to free market capitalism that we let corporations run the fucking world. Awful. Fucking BlackRock owning half the fucking nation now. And the Panama Canal. I could read the first part. Bleeding money like crazy with these tariffs. Delivery companies are double charging. Well, I mean, that's the thing with tariffs. They're not paid by foreign nations. They're paid by the companies inside the United States importing foreign goods. I mean, ultimately, when it comes to the tariffs, it's like whether or not they work is going to come down to, yeah, BlackRock and Vanguard. it's going to come down to whether or not the Republicans actually care to rebuild United States domestic manufacturing for all these goods that have been coming out of Asia. And the thing is, most Americans would love that. It would bring back manufacturing jobs. It would mean that we don't have, that we're not getting cheap, shitty goods. We could increase the quality of goods the average American is using and getting on a daily basis. You know, the products we use, our food would be better. You know, our electronics would be better. We wouldn't be getting cheap crap made in the cheapest possible slave labor conditions in Asia, you know, and shipped in for next to nothing. It's just awful. A lot of accidental bankruptcies happening soon if it keeps up. Oh, no doubt. I don't know. There are new jobs opening up now. Yeah, Trump, I mean, he's saying it. That, like I said, it's going to depend on whether or not they want to keep, or they actually want to bring the manufacturing home. Are they going to actually expand? Are they going to actually bring manufacturing jobs home? You know, or are these companies just addicted to cheap Asian labor? Or if they're going to switch to cheap South American labor, you know? Are they going to switch to using prison labor out of El Salvador? Another good question we ought to be asking ourselves. How do I imagine Brazil? Dangerous would be the first word that comes to mind. But also passionate? I've always heard the people of Brazil are hot-blooded for good and for bad, is what I have always heard. Record growth in the auto industry now. I did hear they're now bringing in, there's a new big Chevy plant opening up in Indiana. I've been thinking about moving over there because they're actually bringing back manufacturing. Pritzker, the governor of Illinois, where I am, refuses to open up any new plants or give tax breaks so companies can actually open up manufacturing here, unless they're all like green energy shit. And it's like, I want to protect the environment too, but you're letting all the jobs go to other states. It's like, we're already bleeding population. What are you doing? Just terrible. You know, Chicago's still on the decline, falling the fuck apart. Awful. I've heard the Carolinas are doing pretty well. They're collecting a lot of that new stuff. Michigan might be. I've heard, I mean, every new president says they're going to fix Michigan. Every new president says, Michigan, Michigan, Michigan. Because Michigan, A, is still a huge swing state, massive population, but it's also poor as dirt. Yeah, there's a lot of them coming to the Carolinas. A lot of new jobs coming there. Idaho, Iowa, they've been killing it. The whole Northwest region, outside of like Portland and Washington, has been doing extremely well. Their GDP growth has been some of the best in the nation. Idaho, of all places. You know? We'll see. What am I eating? Just some pork and mixed vegetables. Yeah, I definitely need to move. I'm thinking about I'm trying to reach out to some content creators in other states. Like I said, my short list right now is still Nashville, Milwaukee, and Austin. I'm trying to find some other content creators in each of those. God, there's quite a few in each of them. And their GDP growth has all been better than Illinois. So I'm actually asking so I'm going to try to reach out to some of them, find some content creators, see if any of them know about a place I can, I don't know, find a couch or something to crash on. The problem is I have so much debt now, I'm worried about trying to find an apartment. I might just have to find like a room I can rent under the table, but that might be kind of dangerous, especially moving to a new city, so I'm a little worried about it. I don't know. They didn't take our jobs. No, we handed over our jobs. In Illinois, we put a governor in place who handed over our jobs. We willfully handed over the jobs because we thought we were too good for manufacturing. The whole Midwest, a lot of the Midwest did. As much as the people in the Midwest, even in Michigan, where, you know, Detroit famously fell apart when the auto industry left. As much as we bitch and moan about how, oh, all the jobs left, you know, truth be told, you know, we handed over those jobs because we thought we were too good for manufacturing. You know, the Midwest sold itself. Yeah, I'm not even surprised South Carolina's doing that well. And you guys have Mr. Beast. Congratulations. Congratulations on that. Have fun. Enjoy. I think he's in South Carolina. He's in the Carolinas. He's somewhere in there. You calling me Bush Jr.? How dare you? Wait, I'm curious now. Where is Mr. Beast's studio located? I thought it was in South Carolina, but I can see. Let me see. Good old Jimmy Donaldson. He was raised in Greenville, North Carolina. Where's his studio at? I'm curious. I don't know. It's not on his Wikipedia page, at least. Which is probably smart, honestly. If you did that in South Carolina and one of those rednecks probably beat the snot out of it. I'm surprised that doesn't happen to him more when he's outside, to be honest. I will admit, too much of what I know about Brazil is probably informed by City of God. I've always wanted to visit Brazil. At some point, maybe. I don't know. That's a long way off. And, you know, it's, I don't know. Whenever you go to a place where that's known for, like, police corruption, it always kind of worries me, because it's like, if I get beaten and robbed at some point, is anybody going to really care? Not that I need them to, like, pat me on the ass and tell me everything's going to be alright, but, like, I don't know. I worry for that reason. You know, police corruption is one of those things that will make me not want to visit a place. Somewhat ironic when I come from Illinois, though. Our police are pretty bad. Mostly in Chicago, though. Chicago's really bad. You want to visit Japan? Everybody wants to visit Japan. Fortunately, honestly, though, I don't really blame Japan for closing up their borders, though. Seems like they are progressively becoming more and more hostile to foreign visitors. And on the one hand, I'm like, that sucks, and you are sacrificing some tourism dollars. But on the other hand, it's like, I don't blame them. Especially with these, you know, the stories of the live streamers going there doing stupid shit. That one famous gas station with the view of Mount Fuji being crowded all the time. It's got to be terrible. You know, for people who actually live there. Oh, quick reminder. Please do hit the like button below the stream, or the follow button if you're on Twitch. Is there a like button on Twitch? I don't remember. But please do. It helps bring more people to the stream. It's super appreciated. Thank you guys so much. But yeah. I've always wanted to visit Japan. I've heard it's gorgeous. But with integration and declining birth rates, yeah, I'm sure they'll get around to it, though. I mean, if I had to guess, I mean, Japan is still an Eastern country. They very much can turn just hard patriarchal, you know. I wouldn't be surprised if that's what ends up happening, you know, because a lot of it is also, and it, not just because like people want to oppress women, but because, and I feel like a lot of people in the more communal mindset fail to understand this sometimes. It's like when the birth rate gets lowered because you want to pursue individualism, that means the next generation and the next generation and the next generation is progressively made up of more and more people who want to have kids. You know, people who, you know, churchgoers and Jesus freaks have more kids. So if individualists and socialists and whatnot and anti-capitalists here in the U.S. continue to not have kids, or the next generation doesn't have kids, even in Japan, you know, if those of the more liberal Western democratic mentality choose to not have kids en masse, well, congratulations. Then the hard right-leaning side, the side that believes in family values and religion, that side's going to continue to have kids, and you're going to be eventually outvoted. And society will turn hard right within a generation or two. And then people will be having kids, you know? USA seems to be a cool place. I mean, yeah. Excuse me. What do you like? Wait, what makes you like the U.S.? I'm curious. I mean, aside from the fact the U.S. just has massive cultural capital naturally by being like the center of the economic world, center of the cultural world right now. For now, honestly, I wouldn't mind if some more countries started competing. God knows Hollywood is just turning into ass. Can't make a good movie or show to save their lives. Those sinners may change that. Want to help them with having kids, not gonna lie. Don't tell me you bought into that stupid lie about the was it the baby passports or something that Joe Rogan tried to spread? That thing of like, did you hear about how Japan is letting men come in to like make babies? Like, that's so stupid. Makes no sense. How did anyone? I mean, Joe Rogan does he loves his conspiracies, but how anyone looked at that and was like, yeah, they're going to bring in men to have kids. Wouldn't help with the population all that much to bring in men. If bring in, and B, they wouldn't want, you know, en masse large amounts of non-ethnically Japanese people, you know, babies being made. They really wouldn't. They're, you know, and hey, man, I don't blame you. I'd love to have a hot Japanese wife. That'd be great. But China has some pretty good free YouTube movies. Really? Interesting. I mean, China does have more of a collectivist mindset. I wouldn't be surprised if they were putting some of their best movies out for free on YouTube. That'd be kind of cool. I have to check those out at some point. If I can see, I'm going to have to see if there's any, I don't know. Japan's awesome. As a kid, it was one of the best places to live. Well, that was a while ago now, though. I don't know. I mean, how is Japan looking now? We'll have to see. I'd be very, very curious. Again, I've always wanted to visit. I like the idea of going to Japan. I've never, I mean, as far as going to any Asian country, though, I do not want to be gawked at as the only dark-skinned man they've ever seen in their life. I already get that enough where I am, because funny enough, I live in a college town that attracts, because we have a really good engineering school where I am in Illinois, and it attracts tons of Asian students. So in August, when all the students come in, inevitably, if I walk around campus for long enough, I will get at least one Chinese, Korean, or Japanese student who will stare at me relentlessly, like, because I am literally the first black person he has ever seen. Inevitably. At least once per year. They also love the squirrels. They love, I don't know why. I guess the U.S. just has really good vermin. I don't know. Food, movies, everything's cool and incredible. I mean, the U.S. is kind of falling apart right now. But there are some parts that, I mean, like Brazil, there are some parts that are good and some parts that have issues. You know. Most guys in Japan don't care about dating. I mean, I don't. I don't think that means that shipping in foreign men would help. If you told me that a country was trying to ship in foreign women to have more kids, I wouldn't believe you, but I would be more likely to believe it. I would at least give it a Google search. But shipping in men, insane. Insane. And yeah, I would never want to be stared at. That's the thing. That's why I basically would never want to. Do you see that footage of like I Show Speed? And they started like chanting some really derogatory shit at him when he was in Hong Kong? Ooh. I do not want to deal with that. Do not. Can I ask what? Can I ask Sir Bear, what do you associate with like American food? I'm very curious about that. America does have great food, depending on where you go. But it really depends on where you are. If you're in the city, it's harder and harder to find good food. There are always a few places, but if you want good food, you got to go to the country. You got to go out to the middle of nowhere. You know? Oh my god, there are some places that'll make the best fried chicken you ever had in your fucking life. You drive a couple miles out of town. It's incredible. And I guess there is some good ethnic food as well here in town. Like if you go, there's we actually had an Afghan place, but it closed pretty fast. I have no idea if it was good or not. I've never had Afghani food. Then there was a lot of good Asian restaurants, a lot of good Mexican food. Oh my god, I could smash some good Mexican food all day. Oh my god. Mexican or Tex-Mex, which Tex-Mex is just Mexican food that's smothered in cheese. Basically. Oh. They don't want foreigners having kids all over in Japan. Yeah. That's why I'm like, they're not gonna bring in men. They're not gonna bring in men. If you told me that they were like bringing in women, maybe I could believe it. Probably not in Japan, but but like bringing in men, that's insane. That's insane. Absolutely insane. Just wouldn't happen. I don't know. It's just crazy. Well, what kinds of foods? What kind of food do they not have in Brazil that you would want here? I'm just curious as to what like foreigners perceive as American food. Is it all like just like Is it all just like burgers and like beer in like red Solo cups? Like, is that it, or is it like French fries, or is it barbecue, or a lot more and more places have barbecue now. I don't know. I'm very, very curious. I'm very, very curious to know. They may want to bring in Japanese Americans. I could see that. Yeah, I mean, that's basically what Ireland does. They'll offer like free citizenship or cheap citizenship because their population never recovered after the blight. They've been struggling with that. Now, though, it's becoming a massive issue. Then, yeah, I mean, like a few years after that, though, if they did, Japan would probably see the same issue that Ireland did, which is that now they're having all kinds of issues with the locals attacking the Irish Americans, who think that who want to come and visit. KFC is Christmas food in Japan? Really? Fried chicken? That's fucking incredible. I know that a lot of American fast food is like way more bougie in other countries, which is funny. Which now, I feel like they're trying to bring that attitude to the US now. Like they're trying to make like fast food bougier in the US so they can charge more for it. But of course, in the United States, all of that food is associated with being cheap, you know? People don't want to pay $10 for a McDonald's cheeseburger in the United States, you know? They want the dollar menu brought back. You know? They want the dollar menu. Like it's not a special occasion to go to McDonald's here. There's one on every block. It's not a special occasion to go to KFC. It's what you pick up on the way home when you don't feel like cooking because it's cheap and fast, you know? So like they're trying to ship in that. I think that a lot of these companies are thinking like are forgetting that like, you know, the base, but it's true of a lot of foods internationally, you know, all around the world, that like peasant food becomes associated with a brand, you know, even like sushi in Japan is ultimately what farmers, or not farmers, fishermen would wrap together, what their wives would prepare for them before they went out on the boat, all day. It wasn't like anything special. There was a skill to it that developed over generations, sure, but it's not like a special occasion food. But because it was something people made every day and it was deeply associated with the culture, that was the whole thing. Same with American fast food now. It's a cheap thing that you grab before you go to work, or when you're at work. You don't have time to eat anything, But when you take that abroad, it's something special, and you can charge those premium prices for it, but not at home, I would not expect lobster to be pricey on the ocean, But here in the Midwest, yeah. Oh my God. You don't have Dr. Pepper? Really? Oh, Takis. Oh, are you a kid? Yeah, the fucking Takis have been real popular with the teenagers. Yeah. I know they're super popular. Like every middle schooler is eating Takis and drinking soda now. Oh my God. I never understood. I never really liked Takis all that much, but I'm surprised that snack food didn't make it over there. That kind of sucks. I think they're just okay. What about like hot Cheetos? Shit like that. They're okay. They're okay. I never even liked hot Cheetos, honestly. I never liked hot Cheetos. I'm surprised you don't have Dr. Pepper. That's so weird. That's so weird. It's a shame that it's like the processed food that's associated with America. It's kind of a shame. But also, again, it's the foods you eat every day are going to be the foods that get associated. And Takis are deeply associated with American culture now because they're being promoted, because they jumped on like the streamer bandwagon fast. I remember Ninja doing Takis ads early on. USA Barbecue. Yeah, good barbecue. Our friend in South Carolina would be the one to point that out. Hell yeah. Good barbecue. That's real American food. Or like fried chicken, but not like KFC. Like real homemade fried chicken. Oh my God. Whew. Or chicken and dumplings. Oh, God. Remember when people used to be able to cook? Remember when our grandparents used to be able to cook? Actually, what's funny? I've been reading, been working my way through MFK Fisher's How to Cook a Wolf. Great book if you want to learn how to appreciate food, not just as as sustenance, but also as part of your life. It's great stuff. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm so surprised Dr. Pepper isn't in Brazil. Not that I'm questioning you. That's just so interesting. Welcome in from Germany. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Do you have Dr. Pepper there? I just learned from the first time that Dr. Pepper is not in Brazil. And it's kind of blowing my mind right now, honestly. That's so funny. Man. I'm kind of curious what else they don't have. I'm surprised Takis wouldn't. If Takis is going to go for the streamers, is going to use streamers to be their promotion, which was a smart move. They jumped on that bandwagon early, which was a good move for them internationally. But why wouldn't they ship to every part of the world, especially when Brazil is such a big demographic? It's a huge country as far as geographically and also population-wise. Massive country. I'm surprised by that. It's interesting. I don't know. Kind of fried chicken, as soon as you eat it, you feel the years fall off. You just feel your arteries clogging, feel them closing like a garden hose being kinked. Oh yeah, that's good American food. I mean, that's good a lot of food though. I mean, if you want real Chinese food, it's gonna be 80% fat and pork bones. I mean, there's a charm to shitty food, or at least food that's bad for you. There's a charm to it. Ah, and boy, does it taste good. Oof, it's gonna be 90% grease. Ah, delicious, delicious, delicious. Absolutely incredible. Where do I come from? I am from Illinois. I'm about 2 hours south of Chicago. 2 to 3 hours south of Chicago. So, it is, I'm trying to think. What's the full family history? My grandfather was Pennsylvania Dutch. He was German, but he was Pennsylvania Dutch, who were a specific group of Americans who came from Deutschland. But when they told that to the customs officers when they came here, they heard "Wir sind Deutsche" and thought they were Dutch, so they were labeled as the Dutch. Seeing my grandmother was like part Irish, English, German. A lot of German in this region. A lot of it. Once you get to southern Illinois, though, it's a lot more Polish. And in Indiana, there's a lot more Polish. Like right next door to us. But yeah, like I said, I'm about 2 hours south of Chicago. It is very boring in a shitty little college town. That is good town, good people, lacks opportunity, and slowly falling apart. It's criminally mismanaged. It's just terrible. It's like the problem with Illinois is just this big, flat piece of farmland, corrupt to the bone with a government that's stealing everything that's not nailed down. On an unrelated note, we do attract a lot of Ukrainians. Prime has some okay Chinese movies, if you understand Chinese. If only I did. I'm sure maybe we may watch some like shitty movies at some point if I do a stream. I really wanted to do more interviews today, but I don't think anybody's taking the bait on that. Asbestos, I think, is too busy playing the new Baldur's Gate 3 update. Ah, well. It's alright. It's alright. Oh, your family's Pennsylvania Dutch too. Nice. Yeah, no. It was a big group that came over in the eastern United States and kind of spread throughout. A lot of them ended up in the Midwest. I think that's why there was so much of the auto industry in the Midwest, because it got so many Germans. That's why the auto industry did so well here. Oh, this is funny. Kentucky seems like a nice place. That is where Zomboid is. Yes, it's actually the county, the city of Louisville, where Zomboid is set up, is actually only a couple hours drive from where I am, which, depending on where you are, may sound like a long time, but in United States standards, like 3-4 hours drive is like being next door, and by United States standards. But yeah, Louisville's not that far. Actually, I'm curious. I'm gonna check Google Maps. Louisville's not that far. I think it's pretty close to the southern tip of Illinois. It's probably like a 6-hour drive. I'm curious. I'm very curious now. Maybe I should move to Louisville. Maybe we should do that. Let's see if there's any content creators there I can pair up with. 3.5 hours. Yeah, Louisville is only 3.5 hour drive from me right now. It's pretty close. Where all the good whiskey is made. Tennessee gets all, well, Kentucky bourbon. I think bourbon is whiskey. It's just a subset. But yeah, that region's known. I mean, I don't know if there's a single region in the United States that's not known for its alcohol. Every region in the U.S. is known for some alcohol. Some towns in America have a lot of German people from 2 or 3 generations before. Yeah, I'm one of them. You wouldn't know it, but no, I have a lot of my heritage is German. If you're bad English, your English is fine. No, your English is fine. I do notice you putting the C in there in English, though. That's funny, though, because I know that in German they would do that. Like in Deutsch. I know in German they put that extra C, but in English you wouldn't put that in there. You would just have English would just end with the SH. That is funny. But yeah, no, your English is fine. Don't worry about it. But yeah, there's a lot of towns in America that are really you can actually really break down a lot of America based off of um where a lot of United States regions are really heavily shaped by the peoples that settled there. Specifically a lot of the European ones, you know, like there's like I said, once you get down to southern Illinois and next door, the state next door to us in Indiana, there's a lot more Polish. But where I am, it's a lot of German, English, some Irish. And like I said, the Chicago especially, and north of that through into Michigan, Wisconsin. Like, there's a reason that Wisconsin is known for its cheese and beer. Like, it's all German. Like, so Wisconsin is specifically famous for its beer and its cheese. Like, there's so much German blood there. And Michigan is known for its auto industry. I mean, yeah, trust me. The German, yeah. I wish I could afford beer. I wish I could afford it, but we're trying to cut costs right now. I got living expenses I gotta save up for. We are doing a big fundraiser starting tomorrow, though. Starting late tomorrow, we're going to do a 48-hour stream that is going to kill me. But we'll see how it goes. Oh, yeah, you guys are South the Carolinas known for their moonshine. Oh, yeah, that's right. Was Dukes of Hazzard set in the Carolinas? Where was Dukes of Hazzard set? I feel like it was Carolinas or Kentucky or somewhere in there. It was in one of like the border-ish states. It wasn't like deep south, I didn't think. Yep. There's a lot of German in this region. A lot of German in the United States. Lots of them. There's just multiple rounds of like, you know, every time there's a war that breaks out in Central Europe, you know, there's a big influx of United States. Now we're getting lots of Ukrainians. You know, there's a lot of them coming to Chicago, actually. Not that that's a bad thing, you know, but it's actually been causing a lot of issues. It's set in Georgia? Really? I didn't know Dukes of Hazzard was set in Georgia. I thought it was set in like Kentucky or the Carolinas. Oh shit. Well, those are already very far apart, so those are already bad guesses. Interesting. Huh. I thought it was set further north than that. Alright, well. Say. Boss and the Sheriff did not have Georgia accents that I remember. Did they? I don't remember the accents being Georgian. I don't know. You know what? I don't know the South that well. You know, I'm the last person who should be saying it anyway. Whatever. That's interesting, though. That's funny. Schnitzel and Dude. Oh, yeah. That's the third thing that Wisconsin is known for. Pretzels. Schweinschachse. What is in the world is that? Was like pig something? Whoa. Whoa. Oh, God. What is that? That sounds... Ugh. Ooh. Like I said, though, there's... Oh, hey! Welcome in! Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in! Oh, I have absolutely no plan for what we're doing right now. I'm just kind of hanging out, honestly. I was playing Zomboid earlier, but got super frustrated, and I'm still frustrated because the fucking OBS is still having all kinds of issues. I'm still having to switch between like 3 different pages to see all the chats because OBS doesn't want to actually display them. My combined chat stopped working in OBS. My combined chat stopped working on screen. It's showing the YouTube horizontal chats are coming through, but not the vertical ones, even though yesterday everything was working fine. I don't know what's up with it. I have no idea. I don't know. Our resident philosopher has arrived, though. I don't know. Ugh. To you, they didn't have any Okay, well, that probably says something good then. I don't know. I felt like their accents should have been more deep south. I don't know. They didn't sound like they were from Georgia. Maybe it's been a while since I've watched Dukes of Hazzard, though. It's been a while. Interesting. Actually, you know what game I've been wanting to play recently was Mafia 3, but set in, what is it, like, pseudo New Orleans. Oh, somebody trying to put in the Stream Boo links again. What do you know? Someone trying to send that shit all over again. All right. Well. Oh. I think I'm cooled off, had some food, ready to hop back into some Zomboid here. I'm going to hop off for a sec, then hop back on. Hesfestus, you want to hop over to the multiplayer server? You want to talk about Build 42? What do you want to do? Saul, if you ever want to jump in, we could talk about Build 42 if you want. You can rant about how terrible it was if you want. What an ad break time. I could leave the Twitch running, I guess, and do an ad break. I don't know. I am an affiliate now. Say congratulations. I am now officially making money off of ads. Allie was my very first viewer to get hit with a 4-minute ad right in the middle of the stream when I had when she was my only viewer. Oh boy. Thickened oatmeal covered. Nothing wrong with that. I have a Midwest accent. People just don't know it because Midwest has become the default accent thanks to late night television. Thank you, Johnny Carson, for setting the standard. Much appreciated, brother. You know. Alright. I gotta go see a man about some porcelain, so I'm gonna hop off for a sec, then hop right back on. Then we're gonna, let me know, Hesfestus. Send me a message on Discord. We can hop in, do a Build 42 debate or something like it, talk about it if you want. Or we could hop over into the multiplayer server and play on there a little bit. Yeah, just let me know how you're feeling. And then we can see if anybody else, if Allie or Matt want to jump in for the multiplayer, we can do that too. I'm happy to do that. I don't know what's up with OBS and my chats. They're just being dumb right now. I'm not even worried about it. Not even worried about it. Either way sounds good. Okay. Well, you're going to have to decide. I'm leaving it up to you. I'm leaving it up to you, friend. I'm leaving it up to you. You're going to have to decide. It's all on you. It's all on you.